What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Hold the Phone podcast. I'm your host, Alex, joined today by my co host, Ryan. What's going on, man?
Hanging in there. How's it going, everybody?
Yeah, hope you all enjoyed Wild Card Weekend. I know me and Ryan kind of did. Ryan had a stressful Saturday, but I guess we can jump right into it. The first game of the playoffs, the Texans defeated the Buffalo Bills 22-19. In overtime. I will let Ryan go first.
No, you should probably go first for this one.
Okay, I'll go first. I did watch this game. Kind of. I had my mom narrate the second half of the game because my TV was on a delay and she knows nothing about football, so it was pretty hilarious to listen to her narrate it. Because every play sounded like a touchdown over FaceTime. But my biggest takeaways were the Bills basically had this game won up until halftime. And then after halftime, things kind of fell apart. And also, Josh Allen, buddy, listen, you didn't turn the ball over. Well, kind of. You had maybe the worst run and then just throw the ball straight up in the air and then have your own player hit it out of bounds for a penalty that I've ever seen in my life. I don't really know what to make of that. But all in all, you have a star in Devin Singletary, I think, in the making. But it just wasn't your year. Even though I thought it would be, it wasn't. Texans, congratulations. You played decent enough, I guess. Deshaun Watson played safe but good. I don't see them making a lot of noise in the next round, but we will see. Who knows? They have a star quarterback, and that's all you basically need in this league. So I'm going to let Ryan take over because I know he has a lot more to say than I do.
Yeah, you pretty much covered almost all the bases. Like I've been saying all week last week, this was a very winnable game, as you could tell, because Buffalo literally had it in their clutches and they let it go. They lost this game themselves, and the terrible officiating, also contributed to their loss. But I'm not gonna say that the officials screwed us out of the win because we got in our own way. We sucked, and it wasn't even. We really let it go at halftime. They didn't score until 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Like, we had the game on lock until like the fourth quarter, pretty much. Like Alex said, we were up 16-0. Defense looked great. Offense looked good. Defense looked greater. We really kept Deshaun Watson under wraps. It was really impressive through the first three quarters. But we got too conservative. We got really conservative in the second half, trying not to give up our lead. But when you're only up not even three scores, things just kind of fall apart if you just play too safe. And McDermott's got a habit of doing that. We have done that a few times in his tenure, and it never works out well for us. But now why I'm saying the officiating was so bad, you can go back and look into highlights if you want. But at the beginning of the second half, I can't recall. Let me look it up. Who their kick returner is at the moment. I want to say it's the guy with the last name Curtis.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. What is his name?
Oh, Carter.
Yeah.
DeAndre Carter. He was their kick returner, and we kicked the ball off to them to start the second half. DeAndre Carter caught the ball, and he gave a signal to his teammates that he wasn't going to return it. But the signal that he gave is not an officially recognized signal by the NFL referees. You have to either kneel it or you have to, I think, wave it off or something like that.
Yeah, you got to wave your hand or kneel it.
Yeah, he did neither of those things. He motioned to his teammates that he wasn't going to return, so they knew. But he did not signal for the official. That's why the official did not call the play dead. He just simply got out of the way. And in doing so, DeAndre Carter took steps, which violates another part of the rule, saying that, if he had done what he did and didn't make steps, it would have been less big of a deal than it was. But he took steps, and then he threw the ball away with no contact at all. That is a fumble. Jaquan Johnson, our rookie strong safety, recovered the football in the end zone, which should have been a touchdown. The referees got together, the side judges, not the guy who was literally right next to DeAndre Carter. The side judges told the other referee right next to DeAndre Carter that he was wrong, and that they were going to use common sense, that they knew they knew what the player meant, which is absolutely ridiculous. And I feel kind of like the New Orleans Saints did last year with the blown PI call, because that really would have put the game away right then and there. But that wasn't even like the first thing, or I guess it was the first thing, but it wasn't the last thing that happened in that game. Where to begin? Josh, there was a blindside block called on Cody Ford, which a lot of people are complaining about, but after reviewing the rules, that was the right call. The blindside block happened. Cody Ford had a blindside block. Like, I'm not going to take that away from you.
He barely did, but he did, yes.
But on that play, Zach Cunningham, the linebacker for the Texans, completely, tackled Josh helmet to helmet, and it went completely unnoticed. Like, if anything, that should have been, offsetting penalties. The blindside block and the helmet to helmet.
Which I think it would have ended up being a 5-yard penalty for Buffalo, because I think a blindside is 10 and helmet to helmet is 15.
Well, yeah. I mean, in that case, we would have moved up 5 yards.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that kind of goes into why you were saying Josh Allen looked weird later in the game, because, I mean, I went back and looked at it. After that hit, he did look kind of dazed. Like, I don't blame it on that, because, I mean, he made a lot of poor decisions before that, too. But after that, he just did not really look the same. But, yeah, so to talk about what you were saying, where he just kind of lateraled.
Yeah, I really want your opinion on what happened there.
No, that was completely idiotic. No one supported him. Everyone's like, what are you doing? Like, he really cares about this team, and he was really just trying to extend the play, but passing a lateral to our left guard, or our right guard is not going to do much, Josh. Just don't fumble.
Just go down. You're in field goal range.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, if he did that when it was okay, we have 30 seconds, no timeout, we need to get down the field, I completely understand that. There were 7 or 8 minutes left.
It was the beginning of overtime.
So unnecessary. Oh, what? Yeah.
I mean, there was probably because the first Houston drive in overtime only lasted 1 minute. Their drive lasted 4 minutes, so there was probably 10 more minutes left in overtime.
Yeah. But yeah, that play was just so unnecessary. Luckily, Dawson Knox knocked it out of bounds, so it remained our ball. No one recovered it.
It was a penalty, but yeah, y'all got the ball back. It was basically erased his run, basically, is what it did.
Yeah, pretty much. But it was horrendous. No one liked it. It was stupid. He was trying to do too much. Our general manager commented on that, by the way. He was like, that was a really dumb play, but you got to admire Josh's heart. I would rather have someone that wants to extend every play and get the win so bad that he would do that than have a check down Charlie.
I mean, genuinely looking at it, Josh had a pretty good game. He had 264 yards rushing, passing, and then 92 yards rushing. It was just the fumbles.
And a receiving touchdown.
That's true.
Yeah, he played phenomenally. The whole offense looked kind of slow. It was the play calling that was bad, because the Texans defense has, their short pass game defense is really bad, and we neglected to use Cole Beasley hardly at all. He hardly played. Which is idiotic.
In fact, he didn't. He had 4 catches for 44 yards on 5 targets, but Duke Williams had 10 targets, and Isaiah McKinney had 5.
I mean, to be fair, those are all really good receivers, and
Cole Beasley is one of the best slot receivers in the league. He should not only have 5 targets in your playoff game.
Oh, undoubtedly. But, yeah, we were just trying to roll with the hot hand, and Duke Williams was hot, so we were trying to feed him. Isaiah McKenzie, he's our gadget guy, so we were just trying to feed him a little bit. Yeah, but no, we need to give Cole more touches. All right, we need to move on, but last thing I'm going to say, just talking about the poor officiating. I lost it. Okay, so on that 3rd and 18 play, on the game-winning drive, Literally, the clock was at 0 for a full second, and the referee still let them play the ball. Like, I understand, like, I've seen it in the NFL all the time. It happens in Bills games all the time. Like, I notice it. It happens on both sides, both teams, where it's like it'll get close and, like, you'll see it go 1-0, and then they'll snap the ball. Like, I get it if it's close, but it wasn't even close. Like, I'm telling you, man, it was, like, literally at 0 for, like, a second or two.
Trust me, I watched. I know. It should have been called, without question.
And then the missed sack at the end by Saran Neal and Matt Milano, that was ridiculous.
I mean, that was one of the craziest plays I've ever seen. For him not to take that sack was insane.
All credit to Deshaun Watson. He played a hell of a game and kept his team in it. I can't say I'm rooting for him this weekend.
I don't think you're going to have to. I think they're going to get obliterated, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's move on.
Sorry for long-winded.
No, you're good. Trust me. Wait until we get to Matt Rule. The Titans defeated the Patriots on Saturday night 20-13, which I'm going to let you go first because I went first on the other game, so you can start.
Okay, well, I just wanted to first off apologize to you. I'm eating my crow. You said they were going to win, and I told you were wrong. But great call by you. You had a good feeling, and you followed it. Derrick Henry had a monster game, and the Patriots didn't look at all interested in tackling him. Mike Vrabel certainly moved up in the slots for Coach of the Year after that game. The way he Bill Belichick was amazing with that that penalty clock thing.
It was amazing watching. Dude, the way that Bill Belichick was freaking out on the sidelines, like how can he do this, was so fun to watch.
Oh yeah, it was great, and Brady had a piss poor day. All around great day. Ryan Tannehill on that. What is it? Ferguson, that tight end.
Yeah.
Clutches first down I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, Austin Ferguson. One of his only 2 catches were that clutch first down that let them run down like 3 more minutes off the clock. Like that was the clutchest thing I've ever seen because it was like 3rd and 7, and the defense was getting like some momentum, and he just ended the game right there.
I mean,
that was it.
Sorry to interrupt, but here's the thing: Ryan Tannehill played terrible. Honestly, he was 8 for 15 for 72 yards, a touchdown, and probably the worst interception I've seen all season. But Derrick Henry said, all right, everybody climb on my back. I'm going to run us to victory, basically. And that's exactly what he did. 34 carries, 182 yards, and a touchdown. And the defense just balled out. I mean, for Brady to throw a pick 6 to end the game is insane.
Hold on. I'm counting something up.
Yeah, go ahead. I know that I think this game was on NBC, and they said that like 82% of the Titans' offense ran through Derrick Henry.
That's what I was doing right now. Okay, so to put that in numbers, the Titans had 56 offensive snaps. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Derrick Henry carried the ball for 34 of them. And it gets better. Hold on. And one
reception.
The ball for one of them. Yeah. Like that's ridiculous. Like 35 of your offensive plays, Derrick Henry touched the ball. Why have they not re-signed this man already?
Well, what's even crazier, is that he's a free agent. Whenever they lose, he's going to be a free agent.
Jeez. But yeah, phenomenal game by them. I'll let you get into it and say what you need to say.
I mean, I don't really have that much more to say. I told y'all the dynasty's over. Brady basically, I mean, we'll talk about it more in the notes. I mean, in the news. But his Instagram post today was very interesting, Ryan. I hope you saw it.
Yeah.
And yeah, this team has no weapons. Sorry, they're done. They're dead. It's dead in the water. Hey, Tennessee Titans, you'll be shocked to know that I am also picking you to upset the Ravens.
Talk about it.
Later this week. No, I'll talk about it when we get to the picks later. But yeah, Titans AFC championship. But we'll talk about it later. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say is they shocked the world, and they did it on the back of Derrick Henry. Ryan Tannehill, good thing you balled out to get them to the playoffs because you sure didn't show up in this game, but you're still going to get paid. Also, One thing to note, why the hell was Marcus Mariota even on the field?
It was a trick play.
No, not that play. Oh, they called a timeout, I think. It was, they were on the goal line.
Oh, yeah. They called the timeout. 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 They called
I don't remember when, but he was in the game and Tannehill was not, and he was like lined up as the quarterback. But for some reason there was like a penalty or they called timeout, and I was like, why the hell is he even in the game? He shouldn't touch the field. But we'll move on. In the early game on Sunday, the Vikings really shocked the world and beat the Saints 26-20. It's the Vikings' first playoff overtime win in franchise history. But more importantly, Dalvin Cook is a hell of a man because he also put this team on his back with 28 carries, 94 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. Actually, between him and Adam Thielen, who absolutely balled out for 7 for 129. Kirk Cousins, whatever. Everybody was saying, oh, this is his big win. No, he didn't even play that great. He was fine, I guess. The Saints literally collapsed, is what it looked like to me. They had no offense other than Michael Thomas, which it has been all year. He had 7 for 70. And then Taysom Hill, who had 4.
Taysom Hill was a beast.
Taysom Hill, if they would have won the game, would have been MVP of that game because he balled out. Drew Brees, I mean, you were throwing ducks out there at one point. It was bad. The whole team looked terrible. They fell apart. It looked like they slept on the Vikings, and then the Vikings came in and absolutely didn't dominate them, but late in that game, it looked like they were dominating.
I mean, it was pretty dominant because, I mean, the Saints had to claw back just to get to overtime, and then the Vikings took care of them. I mean, I'm gonna kind of argue a little bit with you because I think that Kirk Cousins had a fantastic game. Well, not fantastic. I lied. He had a great game. He threw 0 interceptions. He didn't fumble the ball, and he's known for fumbling the ball. And I just think he picked apart this. I mean, you know more than anyone, winning a game in Mercedes-Benz is not an easy thing to do.
No, it's virtually impossible.
So I'm really impressed with him. It's not like, I mean, Dalvin Cook did carry the load. He didn't quite have a Derrick Henry day, but he had a pretty good game. I don't know. I was impressed with what I saw because that's not really the Kirk Cousins that I know per se. Because I mean, Kirk Cousins, like in my opinion, Kirk Cousins is like an upper C tier quarterback, but he's playing like an upper B tier to lower A tier quarterback in my opinion. I mean, just very efficient. He knew where he was going with the ball, didn't turn the ball over, and I mean, most importantly, they won. And he came up clutch in the clutchest moment, which is kind of fighting the narrative that he is unclutch in any sort of primetime need you now moment. So, I mean, good on Kirk Cousins. I still think that you're a bad primetime quarterback and you're probably going to get your ass kicked against the 49ers. But
okay, I have to admit, you're not wrong. I just don't particularly like Kirk Cousins, and I have a vendetta against him. So I should remove myself out of that role and say that he did have a good game. Not great game, but he did have a good game, and he helped lead this team to victory. One thing to note, did you see, I know you saw the Stephon Diggs hissy fit where you really want him to be a Buffalo Bill, which seems insane to me because I don't want that diva anywhere near my team. But he should be happy. They just pulled off literally the upset of the year, and he's throwing a hissy fit because he's not getting thrown the ball enough. Well, I'm sorry, Adam Thielen's balling out. Maybe you should get separation, and Kirk will find you.
Yeah, I mean, he is a little emotional, but Buffalo needs a.
I mean, he's a less talented Odell Beckham Jr.
Wow, no lies detected. That was actually on point. That was so on point.
But
anyways, we can.
No. Last thing, did you see the other hissy fit that Marshawn Lattimore had?
Oh yeah, because he was fighting with his teammate.
No, so it first started with his teammate, and then the coaches started to pull him back, and he started going after the coaches. So they had to his teammates had to separate him basically from the whole team because he was getting burnt by Adam Thielen all day.
Imagine getting burnt by Adam Thielen.
I mean, especially when he was literally one of the best rookie corners that I can think of in a long time, and then gave up 7 for 129.
Well, not all of that was him, though, because
that's true.
That last 50-yard play where Adam Thielen got them in the red zone to set up that Kyle Rudolph touchdown.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lattimore was hurt that play. I mean, because I think he bumped his knee.
Yeah, he got hurt, but still.
Yeah, no, I come on to Buffalo. Could you imagine him and Trey White?
Dude, wait. They're not going to trade away their best defensive player.
I mean, if he's unhappy.
I think if anybody's getting traded, it's Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, well, he can also come to Buffalo if he gets his act together.
What about Xavier Rhodes, who's turned into one of the worst corners in the NFL this year?
He can come if we can trade for him for like a 7th-round pick and he reworks his deal to like a vet man.
Yeah, I was about to say he was getting burnt all day by Michael Thomas. If anybody should have been having a hissy fit, it was him.
Okay, but if you really get burnt by Michael Thomas,
dude, he's been getting
really
burnt all year though.
Yourself?
It's not just Michael Thomas.
True.
He's been getting fleeced all year. All right, let's move on. Seahawks beat the Eagles 17-9 in the last wild card game of the weekend. Ryan, you can go first because I feel like I've talked a lot.
No, I mean we've both been doing our fair share, but I will say that this was probably one of the best weekends of football I've ever watched. But this was probably the worst game of them all. Like it was just slugfest. Was it because the Eagles they have so much heart, but they're so injured that I was like, this sucks. Like, I don't know. I felt like the Jadeveon Clowney hit, which is pretty much the biggest thing you need to take away from this game. It was kind of dirty. You could tell he definitely did not mean to, but I mean, I could see why Eagles fans are upset. I hope Carson's okay. He's got a baby girl on the way, so hopefully he's all right for when she comes. I mean, I can't even. I don't know. The player of the game for me was DK Metcalf. That guy's just a beast and a half, and I'm really upset that Buffalo didn't draft him in the second round.
Yeah, dude. All the people that passed on him have to just be kicking themselves.
Well, it's cool because, their second-round pick just had 7 catches and 160 yards for a touchdown. Our second-round pick just got a blindside block that ruined the game for us. So
yeah, but he'll be good in the future, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I mean he's had a good year. That was just a really rookie moment. I mean he's trying his heart out, but yeah, that just really pissed me off because DK was mocked to us all year, and we passed on.
Do you think either one of these, or not either one? Do you think the Seahawks have any chance of winning?
Oh, 100%. I still I was thinking today. I was like, you know what? I still think there's a really big chance that my original Super Bowl prediction of the Ravens and the Seahawks going all the way could still happen.
Here's the thing. You know what would have been cool is if the Seahawks had to go to the 49ers and the Vikings had to go to the Packers, because then it'd be division opponents in both games.
Well, I mean, if both of them win this upcoming weekend, that can still happen.
No, it's going to be the 49ers and Packers, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Last thing, is Carson Wentz good? Is he a franchise quarterback?
Oh, I think Carson Wentz is a very good player. I think he will be. He's just been so beaten up. I think that he will always just be a shell of what he once was. He showed us an MVP season, and I don't think he's ever going to get close to that ever again. He's just, I think he might honestly need to sit out a year. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he was the next Andrew Luck, where he just comes out and is like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. My body can't do this anymore. I can barely walk. I've had 16 concussions. You know what? My family needs me. I could see him totally doing that. But if I was a franchise, I sure as hell would not have paid him what they just paid him this past summer. But I don't know. I wouldn't mind having him, but I would want a good backup, if you know what I'm saying.
How much of his contract was guaranteed?
Too much. They're not cutting him. They're not going to move on for at least a year or two.
That's what I'm saying. If he gets injured next year, do you cut him? Holy shit. He got $108 million guaranteed? Oh, no. $66 million is fully guaranteed.
That's what we call a fleece, boy.
It could go up to $108 million with his incentives.
Sheesh.
How much is this team regretting not paying Nick Foles? That's the real question.
I don't know, because the Jags did, and he sucks for them,
Dude,
too.
imagine if Nick Foles came in. If it wasn't Josh McCown and it was Nick Foles, this team wins.
100% they would have won that game, and 100%, I would honestly be riding, the coattails of, another Eagles Super Bowl.
I think if Carson Wentz doesn't get hurt, they win this game.
I don't know about that, because, Russ was, barely trying.
You don't barely try in a playoff game. It wouldn't have been 17-9.
I mean, yeah, but the Eagles have a pretty decent front seven.
Yeah,
but
they have a great. That's what I'm saying. If he wouldn't have gotten hurt, and if Zach Ertz wasn't playing with a lacerated kidney and broken ribs.
But what I'm saying is Russ is MVP. There's no way he would have lost that game. He's led so many clutch comebacks just this year. I would not bet against Russ.
I would have bet. If Carson Wentz wouldn't have got hurt, I would have bet the Eagles would have won. So I guess that wraps up Wild Card Weekend. Congratulations.
Hold on, I got one more thing to say on Wild Card Weekend.
Go ahead.
I just had kind of a hot take. I wanted to bounce it off you, see what you thought.
Fun. Go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and say it. None, except for the Seahawks, none of the better teams won their games. And I think that this was a very exciting Wild Card Weekend that set up an absolutely
the Titans are better than the Patriots.
Weekend. That's debatable. I think they were better coached.
It's not debatable. Who other than Tom Brady, which is debatable, who is better on their offense than the Titans' offense right now? Because the Titans have a better offensive line. They have better running backs. They have better wide receivers. Tannehill's been playing way better.
All right, you might be right offensively, but I don't know, just the way that Patriots team,
they fell apart.
They did, and that's why they won.
Now,
you know what? You know what I'm saying, though. You know that,
I get what you're saying, but I think you're holding on to a Patriots team of 2 years ago, not this shitty Patriots team that is right now that wouldn't be in the playoffs if they had a real schedule to start the season.
I'm more keying in on Buffalo and New
No.
Orleans.
Buffalo, without doubt, should have won the game. New Orleans, it was embarrassing.
Should have won the game.
It was embarrassing. They should have went in there and they should have beaten the Vikings by 40. Not by 40, by 20, and they shit the bed.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. All the best teams lost that weekend.
Last thing, what do you think happens with Drew Brees?
I think he retires. He set a lot of records. He's had a lot of fun.
Please.
He's tried 3 years in a row. Each year, the past 3 years, the Saints have been on the butt end of a lot of crappy things, but I think he's just done. I mean, he can't do much more.
I think it's going to depend on a lot of if they re-sign Teddy again.
Yeah. Which they should.
Oh, without question. I don't think they will, but they should. All right, let's move on. You got the news?
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you start with whatever news you want to start with, my man.
Well, we've already talked about Ron Rivera last week, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have to go into that. I guess I'll start with the Cowboys. They finally got the balls to move on from Jason Garrett officially, because I know for 3 weeks they were well, we're going to think about it. We're going to have a meeting. And then when you think that they're going to announce it, they're going to be well, we're going to have another meeting. They finally decided to move on from him, and they went and hired Mike McCarthy. Of all people, they only interviewed him and Marvin Lewis. Great pool you got there, Jerry Jones. But I don't know. I didn't hate the hire, but I also didn't love it. I thought that there were a lot better coaches out there, and they really could have had their pick of the litter, because that was the best head coaching spot available this offseason.
So here's the thing. I hate the hire, personally. Just because if you look back at Mike McCarthy in Green Bay, he does not utilize the running back, and they have one of the best running backs in the entire NFL. He's never had a running back of Zeke's caliber, I'll give you that, but also he's never used the running back he had. He had Aaron Jones, who had an unbelievable season this year, for 2 years and didn't use him.
Yeah, I feel like part of that is Matt LaFleur. I feel like Matt LaFleur really brought the best out of Aaron Jones. But that's besides the point. But news came out today that they are keeping offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, which I thought was a very encouraging sign, because it would kind of avoid what you just talked about. I hope they give Kellen Moore a lot of freedom.
I don't think it avoids it. I think Kellen Moore likes to throw the ball.
Well, I mean, I feel like Zeke will get more utilized than if Mike McCarthy were calling
Maybe. I think Zeke's had the worst year, basically, of his career this year, and it was underneath Kellen Moore.
That's fair. You're not wrong.
I don't know. I just think Mike McCarthy's very average, and they could have had a lot better choices.
I completely agree with you because they could have had Matt Rule, they could have had Lincoln Riley, they could have had Joe Judge if they wanted him. They could have had Rivera. They could have had, like, honestly, they could have had the pick of the litter. Like, I just don't understand the hire. But Jerry felt good about it. But I'm going to go on a hot take here and say that Mike McCarthy will not be coaching this team in 2023.
What's that? 3 years from now?
3 or 4 years down the road, I don't think he'll be the coach.
No, I think it will be Kellen Moore or Tony Romo.
Oh my gosh! Please give me Tony Romo as the head coach of the Cowboys. That would be legendary, and he would never get fired.
I'm telling you. We'll see. When's his I want to know when his contract is up with NBC or whoever he's under contract with.
I would love that, but I would also hate that because Tony Romo is easily the best broadcaster out there, like in the game.
Without question.
While you're doing that, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So, Dak Prescott and Amari Cooper are both set to be free agents right now. No new deals have even been talked about. What are the odds that each of these guys hits the open market in March?
0.
You think so?
I don't think that. Well, no, I definitely don't think Dak does. I think if anything, they'll give him a lot of money or they'll franchise him. And Amari, I think Jerry loves Amari because he traded for him. And yeah, no, I think 0. I think the team basically stays the same.
All right, I just wanted to kind of gauge your feelings on that.
Yeah, I think they stay the same. What about you?
I don't know. I kind of feel like they might let Dak go. I've got this gut feeling that they're going to move on. They're going to go to a quarterback in this draft.
God, please, Carolina, do the right thing and pay Dak Prescott.
That would be crazy.
Imagine Dak Prescott on the Panthers.
Well, I mean, we could talk about that next because the Carolina Panthers also announced their head coach search is over when they hired former Baylor head coach Matt Rule. And I think this is where I'm supposed to just kind of sit back and let you talk. Cause you
a little bit. But actually, I just thought about what I just said. Let me retract that statement. I do not want Dak Prescott to be our quarterback because I'd rather have Cam Newton, who's a lot cheaper, or a rookie who would be on a rookie deal. So I regret that decision immensely, so my bad. But yeah, man, Matt Rule, he was not my first choice. My first choice would have been Eric Bieniemy, or however you say his name.
Yeah, Bieniemy, I think.
Yeah, Bieniemy. But Matt Rule was high on the list. It scares the shit out of me, honestly. But at the same time, I listened to the whole press conference today, and I don't know. Looking at his resume, so I'll break it down really quick for you. In 2013, he was hired as Temple's head coach, and he went 2-10. Whatever, he took over a terrible Temple team. Next year, they went 6-6, made a bowl game. The next year, 10-4, then 10-3 in 2016. Then 2017, he went to a just decimated Baylor team that was facing rape charges. Half the team left or got suspended. They were just awful. They went 1-11. The very next year, when he got some of his own players in, they went 7-6. And then this year they went 11-3 and went to a bowl game. Didn't look great in the bowl game, but I think most of that had to do with the fact that he had already told the team, hey, I'm basically leaving. And they were let down that they didn't get into the college football playoff. And he originally started recruiting in Charlotte. Like, I found out today he recruited DJ Moore to Temple back when he was the head coach at Temple.
I saw that video too. I thought that was cool.
I don't know. I'm buying in fully, 100%. I think he is a leader, and this team is about to get really young, considering 9 of the 11 defensive starters are free agents. They have a lot of decisions to make. It seems like the team is buying in a lot to him, and also I did see that a lot of Baylor players texted key players on the Panthers, such as Christian McCaffrey and people like that, and said, you got a good coach. Trust us. And so I'm going to trust him. I'm buying in, man. I love the fact that he's going to get full control over who he hires on his offense and defensive staffs. Right now, the leading candidates for defensive coordinator are, because he focused mostly on defense in his press conference, are his Baylor defensive coordinator, which he also brought from Temple to Baylor. but he hasn't hired him yet because Baylor is looking for a head coach, and he might be the head coach of Baylor. Also, Wade Phillips has been thrown around, which honestly,
You gotta get Wade Phillips. You got to.
please, David Tepper, I don't care how much money he asks for, pay him more than you paid Matt Rule. Just kidding, don't, but give him
If
a
you
lot.
guys, okay, sorry, I'm interrupting. If you guys get Wade Phillips, I honestly think you might have a chance of winning the division next year.
Me too, especially if old Drew decides to call it a career. I don't know. I'm buying in. I'm hyped. Also, one key thing to note is that the Panthers will have money to play with this free agency. I believe. Hang on.
Well, while Alex is looking that up, I'm going to say that I am very excited about this hire. I think it's a great hire for the Panthers, and I think it almost, I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but it almost guarantees that they are going to be drafting a quarterback this year. I don't see how you can't. I think they move on from Cam Newton. I think they re-sign Kyle Allen to like a 1 or 2 year deal, or maybe even get someone in free agency. And I think they let go of Will Greer, and I think they get a rookie quarterback.
Okay. There's no way that the Panthers have 199 million in cap space, right? That's wrong.
Yeah, no, that's cap space. That's total cap. You got to go.
Okay, my bad. We have 30 million, but if we
Not
release
good.
or trade Cam Newton, we'll have 50 million.
There you go. That's a little bit better. I was like, 30 million is not good. Trust me. We had
Well,
to do that in 20
I
years
believe
ago.
it's 30 million before all the other contracts are up. Because 9 of the 11 defensive players are free agents. I'm
Let me
trying.
see.
Yeah, why can I not find this number? It keeps giving me the 155 million, which I know is not the right number.
You got to get the Spot Track app, man. It works wonders. Carolina Panthers have $27 million in cap space
Yeah,
in 2020.
which is pretty terrible.
Yeah.
So I lied. We don't have a lot of cap space, which I'm sad about now.
I slowly retract my statement that you guys will be
Wait.
guys will be rebuilding in 2020, fighting for the division in 2021.
Is that with all of the free agents
Yes.
already being?
Yes.
Well, damn.
You guys are in the hole.
Now we're pretty much at the point where we have to cut Cam Newton, aren't we?
Yeah,
I
kind of.
mean, no, because they're not going to. They're going to let him play out the rest of his contract. If at least I expect them to. Oh, what was I going to note? Oh, is that free agent Robbie Anderson was recruited and I believe played for Matt Rule at Temple. If he didn't play for him, he was at least recruited there, so Matt Rule knows him, which I'm not mad at. Where did he go to school? Was it Temple? Yeah,
Not
he
sure.
did play at Temple under Matt Rule. Okay.
Oh, that's a done deal then.
Well,
Chalk it up.
we'll see. I don't know how much they're willing to pay him or how much he wants. But I would love that on the outside to have him as a burner along with Curtis Samuel and DJ Moore. That would be crazy. But man, all in all, I'm super excited, super happy with it. Did not want Josh McDaniels. So pretty much anybody but him I'll be happy with.
Yeah. Well, moving on, we can talk about the New York Giants, who made a surprise hire at head coach when not going with Eric Bieniemy, not going with Josh McDaniels, not going with Lincoln Riley. They went with Joe Judge, the wide receiver and special teams coordinator for the New England Patriots, who just, as we talked about, lost a playoff game. I honestly am super high on this hire. I think it's going to be very good, and I think he has a long future in New York. They need some stability, and I think he gives it to them. But I know Alex has some differing opinions, so I'll let you get those out.
I do. One, I think, Ryan, you're the only person maybe in all of America, I know in New York, that likes this hire. Which, good on you, man, because if he turns out to be a stud head coaching hire, well, you'll probably be one of the only people that said so. But here's the thing, dude. He's never been anything other than a special teams coordinator. Like, here's his career. I did a lot of research before this on him and Matt Rule. Not really a lot, but I looked into their backgrounds. So, in 2008, he was Birmingham Southern's linebacking coach. Then from 2009 to 2011, he was Alabama's special team assistant. Then he got hired to the Patriots from 2012 to 2014 as the special teams assistant. Then in 2015 to 2018, he was special teams coordinator. And last year, he was special teams coordinator and wide receivers coach. So you really think that this man that has never been a head coach or even an offensive or defensive coordinator, he better hire goddamn Wade Phillips at this point, is going to be able to lead a team, especially
Yes.
with David Gettleman as his GM?
Yes. Here's why.
Yeah, explain, please.
So, one thing that someone told me that I really liked was that, you know what, special team coaches, although they don't have a specific specialty on offense or defense, they get to coach both of those guys. So they know, football knowledge is just generally like a lot higher, at least in my opinion, I'd think, because you get to coach multiple players who have multiple styles. He's also a wide receivers coach, so I guess he would lean more towards offense. But I mean, if they hire Jason Garrett as offensive coordinator and Wade Phillips as defensive coordinator, I think this team is going places, especially in that super weak division. I think they can fight for a wild card spot. Maybe not after the first year, maybe after 2 or 3. But I mean, New York is on the up, man. They were really injured and they were generally just really bad. But I like the hire, and I have a feeling about it. I don't know. It's a gut feeling. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but I have a gut feeling that this is going to be a good one.
Well, I hope for the sake of Giants fans that you were correct. I just don't have a lot of faith in a man that has never been a head coach or even an assistant anywhere. Also, I think very, very little of David Gettleman as a GM. I think everybody says he's good at drafting. No, I think he took Saquon, who fell in his lap, and then you took Daniel Jones, and he just happened to be decent. Like, it looked like he was going to be great at the beginning, and then he kind of fell off at the end. So we'll see with him. He's still under evaluation.
Jury's still out on that one.
Yeah, and his defensive picks have been awful. That defense is terrible.
Yeah, not going to argue with you on that one. But while we are talking about this, all the head coaching stuff, I'd just like to talk to you about the whole Rooney Rule, what you really think about minority head coaches, how difficult it is for them to get a job in the NFL, specifically as head coaches. But how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's terrible, dude. Like, the fact that Eric is not a head coach at this point, which it doesn't look like he's going to be, because if I had to guess, Josh McDaniels is going to take the Cleveland job. It's a shame, dude. Like, how many minority coaches do we have right now? I can think of 3. Who are the 3?
Anthony Lynn, Mike Tomlin, Brian Flores.
Exactly. You don't think that there is more? And Brian Flores could easily be on the hot seat, even though He's not, but I mean, he could be. It's just a shame, dude. That they deserve to have, the teams that were interviewing for coaches. It seems like they didn't even follow the Rooney Rule. So, what's the point in it being there?
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think that Eric Bieniemy really got his chance this year, but I do think that he will be the head coach of a team next year, especially if the Chiefs keep performing well. I'm actually projecting him to go be the Lions head coach, but we'll talk about that maybe in a few weeks. But
did he interview with anybody? Did he actually get to the interview?
I thought he interviewed with you guys.
Oh, yeah, he did, because Cam Newton liked it, and they talked. But other than us, did he interview with anybody?
I don't think so.
I think he was supposed to interview with the Giants, but they already hired theirs. Cleveland hasn't requested an interview with him, which is insane to me. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a shame. They definitely need to be. It should be a little bit more equal than 3 to 27. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean it's getting atrociously obvious that there's just a bias there, and it's not really blatant racism. It's more of just it feels like upgraded nepotism in a way. It's favoritism. It's clear favoritism that all these white guys are getting jobs over African American or other minority head coaches. It's ridiculous. I mean, I saw a tweet today that was obviously 3 out of 32 NFL head coaches are black. But the numbers are worse in college. There are 128 Division I college football programs, 11 African American head coaches.
Are you
How ridiculous is
serious?
that?
11?
Yeah.
Well, somebody needs to be looking into college. Fuck the NFL. I mean, damn.
Yeah, I mean, it's the landscape, and it's 2020, guys. Something has to change. Something has to give. Give these guys a chance. I don't know. It kind of got me riled up at work today when I saw that tweet. Like, it's just
Yeah, that's insane.
ridiculous.
That actually like really pisses me off.
And it'd be different if there were a lot of first off, there aren't even many minority coaches getting an opportunity, let alone opportunity to fail. Like, I get, yeah, Todd Bowles was bad, but if you look at the other minority head coaches in the NFL right now, Brian Flores, hell of a coach. Mike Tomlin, hell of a coach. Anthony Lynn, hell of a coach. I think all of them are fantastic. And guys like Eric Bieniemy and Leslie Frazier, they deserve at least opportunities, man. At least interviews.
I bet the Jets right now would take Todd Bowles over Adam Gase.
There are a lot of bowls that they would take over Adam Gase. I would take a cereal bowl over Adam Gase.
Do you agree with me, though, that you think Cleveland's going to pick Josh McDaniels?
I think it's the best. I don't know if he will, because he has this tendency to just be front runner for head coach and then just dip. I think I think he might wait it out in New England, because he's guaranteed Bill Belichick's spot. He's the heir to the throne.
Yeah,
of
but
the head coaching spot.
That the rumors that he's already started to assemble a coaching staff for when he leaves, that's what made me like, oh, he might actually be leaving.
Well, didn't he do that with the Colts?
He did, but rumors have also come out that Cleveland's his dream location.
Well, he's from Ohio, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know who I think the Browns are going to go with? I think they're going to go with Robert Saleh, or Saleh, wherever.
Yeah.
The San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator. I think he'd be low-key better for the – well, I don't know if he'd be better for the job, but he'd be just as good.
Is he white?
I don't
think so.
No, his skin's olive colored. I don't know. It'd be kind of hard to just guess, but he's not black. But
what's his first name?
Robert.
I'm looking him up. He is. Where are you from, sir? That doesn't help me. He might be white. Okay, all this tells me is that he was born in Detroit.
Look up his parents. Maybe that'll help.
I'm just looking up his ethnicity. Oh, he's Lebanese.
There you go. Another minority head coach right there. Boom.
Yep. That'd be perfect.
Lebanese American. I think that might be a first, actually. If he got head coach, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. I think it would definitely be the first Lebanese head coach. Did you have any other news?
No, that was it for me. Just it's been crazy with all the head coaching stuff. We can jump into predictions for this upcoming week.
Yeah, man. This offseason is about to be very interesting.
Tell me about it.
Oh, good. The Carolina Tar Heels lost again. Great. Let's jump in to what I believe. Yeah, the first game on Saturday is going to be the 49ers. They're going to take on the Vikings. This game is in Santa Clara, California. It's at 4:35 on Saturday.
Well, I guess I'll start. I think, honestly, I'm really confident. I think I'm going to go 4 for 4, knock on wood.
Ooh.
I think, just a lot of, like I said, I think that this really exciting wildcard weekend set up a really boring divisional round. But with a week of rest, I think that this 49ers team at home is going to smack the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins. Kirk played well in Mercedes. In a quote-unquote primetime game. It was the only game on. But, it was a very important game. He was clutch. I just don't think he can carry it over. I think that defense is too good. Eric Bosa is going to – Eric Bosa. Who am I? Nick Bosa is going to eat. I don't know. I'm going 49ers in a blowout. I think it's 42-14.
Yo, honestly, I love that score, but I'll drop mine a little bit. I'm going to go 35-17. I think, yeah, the 49ers are just going to be way too much for them to handle. Yeah. I don't see any chance of the Vikings pulling this off, but who knows? They did shock the world and beat the Saints, but we'll see. Up next, we have the night game on Saturday, which will be the Titans taking on the Ravens. This game is in Baltimore. I'm going to let
You got first on this one.
Okay, first of all, I'm just going to throw this little tidbit in there that the NFL has on their website. Fourth postseason meeting, the road team is 3-0. And it's going to stay that way because the Titans are going to go in there and they're going to beat the Ravens. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I just don't think anybody's stopping Derrick Henry. And when they do, cool, A.J. Brown's taking the top off. But I could be wrong. Ryan Tannehill could flub the bet again, but I don't think he will. I think this is going to be a defensive battle, and I'm going to take it as lower scoring, kind of. 21-24 Titans.
What'd you say, 24-21?
Yeah, Titans 24, Ravens 21.
I like that, but reverse. I think that the Ravens have everything to combat the Titans and why they've been so good. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think both sides are pretty balanced on both sides of the ball, which I really like. I think both of these teams are really fun to watch. Lamar Jackson's going to eat, especially off of 2 weeks rest, really, because they rested their starters in Week 17. If Mark Ingram's healthy, he's going to eat. Hopefully they can get Marquise Brown involved because that would be really cool. And obviously Mark Andrews is going to eat. And I really just wonder how well Tannehill's going to be throwing against why am I blanking on their names? Marcus Peters and Earl Thomas. They've been really solid, and I don't know. I'm going with 24-17 Ravens.
It will also be interesting to see if the Ravens were game planning all last week to face the Patriots because they thought they were going to win.
That would be interesting. I don't know if they did that, but they might actually. But
that's what I'm saying. They might have really been banking on the Patriots to win. Also, I don't know. For some reason, this Ravens team reminds me of when there's a really good team, but then they shit the bed. That's what I think is going to happen.
I agree. I don't think that this Ravens team is that legit, but I think they pull this one out.
I also think that the rest is going to hurt Lamar Jackson more than help him.
I could see that. That's a good point, but I'm standing by my Ravens pick.
I wonder what the weather is supposed to be.
While you look that up, I'm going to say that if the Titans win this, they're instantly the best Cinderella team of all time.
Is that real? It's supposed to be 66 degrees. Wait, is this game on Sunday or Saturday? Saturday. Okay, it's going to be 65 degrees and partly cloudy.
That's not bad.
That is not what I thought the weather would be in Baltimore. But I don't know. We're differing. We'll see who comes out on top on this one. Again, I could see it going the complete other way. But I don't know. I'm banking on this Titans team. I've liked them since the beginning, and I'm taking them to go to the AFC Championship. Speaking of the AFC, the first game on Sunday, which these games have weird start times. The Chiefs take on the Texans. This game is in Kansas City. It's at 3:05.
Yeah, they do have weird start times. I don't like that.
3:05 and 6:40. I don't like it. I think that this game will look a lot like the 49ers-Vikings game, where the Chiefs just come out and they dominate. As of right now, the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl for me. So I think they just come out and they destroy them. I think they got... Well, no, the Chiefs' defense has been playing pretty good recently, I think. So, yeah, I don't know. I just think the Chiefs are better, and Andy Reid's had a week to prepare, or more than a week now. 2 weeks, basically, to prepare. And he's 22-5 career coming off a bye.
Yeah, I I agree with you. I think that this was the best possible matchup for the Chiefs because obviously they could have played the Bills, Patriots, or Texans depending on who won their games. But I really do think that this is the best matchup. And the way that the Chiefs defense is playing, it really complements the offense because the offense has always been there. But now that the defense is there, the Chiefs are now a very serious contender. And I think they're going to play like it. I think that I don't know if it's going to be quite a blowout. I think it'll be, I'm seeing something more like 31-17.
Oh yeah, did I give my score pick? No, I think it'll be closer than that actually. Well, let's go Chiefs 30, Texans 23.
I like that.
All right, it is gonna be a little chilly in Green Bay for our final game. The Green Bay Packers take on the Seahawks at 6:40. This game is in Green Bay, and as of right now, the weather on Sunday, the high is 24, and the low is supposed to be in the teens, which is not terrible for Green Bay, but it's also not great.
Oh yeah, they've played in the negatives before. That's some global warming right there.
I think the Seahawks got gifted a favor by having to play this game at 6 and not at 3, which would have been 12 o'clock their time, which isn't that bad of a time change. But I'm going to say the Packers win, but it's going to be really close. I'm going to go... do I want to go high scoring or low scoring? 21-20 Packers.
I like it. I think this is going to be a shootout. You know, I don't know. I feel like in the first half, the Packers defense is really going to handle the Seahawks offense, and Aaron Rodgers is going to take advantage of that. But I think that they have a resurgence in the second half, and they end up winning it. I'm going to say 34-31 Seahawks.
So I think how Aaron Rodgers plays is going to basically decide this game. If he comes out and balls out like he has in the past, they're going to win. If he comes out and plays like Drew Brees played on Sunday, then they might lose. But to wrap up the show, unless Ryan has anything else, you got anything else, bud?
Oh, I'm
All
good.
right, to wrap up the show, Ryan, give me your Super Bowl.
I'm going Chiefs, Seahawks.
Man, we're going to have basically the same. I'm going Chiefs, Packers, but who wins?
I'm going to go Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going Chiefs, too. I think the Chiefs bring it home. I think Green Bay's a year away if Rodgers can stay healthy. I really think, well, do I want to change mine? If the Titans beat the Ravens, I could see the Titans beating the Chiefs. I'm just throwing that out there.
They've done it before.
I think the big game is this Titans-Ravens game, because if the Titans win, I think they have a real good chance of beating either the Texans or the Chiefs and might go to the Super Bowl, which would be insane.
That would be crazy. Can you look that up real quick? Has a 6 seed ever gone?
Yeah, I think the Giants did that one year that they did, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were 8-8 and made the playoffs. Actually, I'm changing mine. Titans to the Super Bowl. Titans win the Super Bowl. They're beating the Packers in the Super Bowl to win it. Is that crazy?
Cool. Wait, say that again?
The Titans beat the Green Bay Packers and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, first off, I don't think Green Bay is going to the Super Bowl. Second of all, it's a long shot for the Titans, too.
Okay.
And I think that the Titans could beat the Packers.
Here's my realistic one. Packers versus Chiefs. Chiefs win. Unrealistic one. Titans versus Seahawks, and the Titans win.
We'll see, man. We got an exciting weekend of football coming up ahead of us. So,
do you agree with me that whoever wins between Seahawks and Packers is going to the Super Bowl out of the NFC?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't believe in the 49ers, but that will wrap it up for this show. If we end it in the next 10 seconds, we're going to be underneath an hour. So, good luck, guys. Have a great weekend. Ryan, I'll talk to you probably tonight, but have a good weekend, guys.